Very exciting day for us here at Dream. If you're following our socials already on Instagram and Facebook, you've probably picked it up. We've picked up our FL5. Let's go and have a look. We're super excited to have our FL5 here with us now at Dream. Obviously it's taken a while for the UK to get their cars, but it's here, so we can start on our development plan. But before we get into that, we can see a lot of you guys are watching already without being subscribed. So if you want to stay up to date with the development of the FL5 platform, turn your notifications on and hit the subscribe button. So first impressions on the car in the first week of ownership. I've covered a few hundred miles in it now and can really start to notice some of the small changes that add up to the bigger change that's now the FL5. It feels like an FK8 that's sort of really grown into its skin. It feels more precise, more refined, and quite nimble on its feet. When you throw it into corners, you can feel that the car feels quite light and agile. First impressions, it's really ticked a box. The other area that I can see a nice improvement on is the gear change. It just feels so nice just to flick it in and out of gear. I'm sure there's some good changes that have gone inside the gearbox. I can't wait to get one apart and see what those changes are, and if it's something that we can maybe implement back into an FK8 gearbox to make that feel a little better. I'm really having to hold myself back from getting stuck into the car, pulling bits off and really getting an understanding of what's going on under there, as we need to get some base data from the car first. The FL5 will go onto our dyno, where we'll get some baseline numbers of what power it's producing now before we start carrying out any modifications, as well as going onto our alignment machine, where we'll be able to see where the alignment's sitting. I feel it could do a little bit of adjustment, and we'll see what we've got to play with on there. But before we get into that, there's a few little tweaks that I can do. Probably change out the rear indicator bulbs for some of the silver bulbs, and I'd really like to get rid of the rear wiper. Although we're a bit late getting hold of our FL5, the previous models, the FK2 and the FK8, we did get a little bit of a head start on. With the fact that they were UK built cars, we were able to be supplied as one of the first few customers to start receiving the FK2 and FK8. With the FL5, as it's a Japanese built car, obviously Japan received the car first, shortly followed by America, and then the rest of the world after that. Despite all of that, we have got some big plans for our FL5 in the coming months. We've got our own products to develop, as well as working with some of the industry leading manufacturers in some of their products. So I have had a quick look at the valve on the exhaust. The valve looks to be exactly the same as what Remus use on their systems. So that would mean that we could effectively put a Remus valve on this exhaust and control it through the Remus app. Or if we had a Remus exhaust on the car, we could effectively plug up the Honda wiring and allow that to be controlled by selecting modes inside the car. Next step is for us to get the FL5 loaded onto the dyno and get some of those baseline numbers out of it. We've had a few tanks of 99 RON fuel go through the car now. So obviously we've got it onto the dyno, it's strapped down, it's been settled, and it's ready to have a couple of runs and see what power we're producing. Let's give it a go. That's us finished up on the dyno for today. Join us next week where we'll be reviewing the data that we've just gathered, as well as moving the car over to the alignment ramp and start to look at some of the alignment settings that's in the car. Remember to subscribe to the video, give us a like, and feel free to leave us a comment below.